Okay. Hi guys. Um so I am it's been a crazy day. Anybody else have like one of those days? Um I hope you guys all had a wonderful day. Thank you for checking it out. I am Crystal Sale. I am the Happy Life Doctor. So I've been kind of racking my brain trying to figure out what I could help you guys with, what I could share, what info I could give to you. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, just because it's something that has really taken up a lot of space in my life and my brain for the past few years. Um, so for a long time, I've just was kind of going through motions, right? Like I was just doing things. I was just taking the next step. As it crossed my path, I was like, oh, that sounds great, let's go that road, you know what I mean? And so I really didn't have a lot of like intention behind those steps necessarily, other than that I was just thinking about, well, I want to be happy and this I think might make me happy, so like let's go that road. And I don't think I really like had like stopped to think about what does that actually mean? Like, what does that actually look like as far as like my happiness, right? And so then, like, as I've been growing, as I've been like reading and all of the things, I really became obsessed with like finding my purpose. And so I just became convinced that God had this single purpose for my life and that I needed to find it and I needed to know what was going on and like what it was, right? And so like have you ever taken like a course on like your purpose or like read like a little um like freebie or something like that? Like have you ever done that? Like let me know, let me know in the comments if you've ever done that. So I would do that. I would take these little courses and it's just like, what the heck is this? Like this is crap. Like it's so vague. It didn't help me at all. I felt like even more lost. I was just like, this is stupid. Like you're not helpful. And I just was always just so disappointed. Um and so it's really honestly taken me a long time to kind of realize why they're so vague, right? Like why do they really not give you an answer? Like these are the steps, you know? And it's because there really is no one purpose, right, for your life. It's something that is so personal to you, and it's based entirely on what like drives you and motivates you, right? And that's so different for everybody. And some people are so blessed to know exactly what that is. You know, some people they they realize their passion and they just like went for it, right? And like some of us, the rest of us are just like we have a lot of digging and soul searching to do, right? Like I struggle to know what am I really passionate about, you know, like what really drives me and motivates me, and it's something that I really have to start honestly paying more attention to. But there's a lot of digging and time in that, right? So I wanted to kind of go over what I have found that has been helpful for me, and I hope that it's helpful for you if you are someone who is a little maybe unhappy or just not you're not feeling like you're there, right? You're not doing the thing. And so if you are looking for your purpose, I wanted to just give you a little bit of the direction that I feel like was the most helpful for me. So stick around, right? So so firstly, I will say the very best outline that I feel like I found yet, which, you know, there's still so much stuff to dig through, but But so far, what the best outline that I found was in a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And in it, he asks some very specific questions in order for you to find your zone of genius, right? And so if you've read Atomic Habits, you also know about flow. So like flow happens when you are working with like maximum impact and focus, and this is going to be something that occurs most frequently in your zone of genius. So it's really important to find your zone and to in order to get that maximum flow. Um so you can live with the most purpose. So I don't know if that makes sense, right? So like flow is like when you're just in this state of like you're working and you're doing and it's good and it's everything's just naturally occurring. Well, your zone of genius is going to be that same kind of thing. So it's like, what is the thing that you do where you get the most flow, you know? So where is your zone of genius? That's essentially what we're trying to find, right? So the first question you want to ask yourself is, what do you most love to do? So, is it like cooking? Is it writing? Is it like, do you love talking and meeting new people? Like, think of this more as like an all encompassing question. Like, so don't limit yourself to things that you think that you should be answering with, or things that like you think like make the most sense in like making money, right? Like we're not talking about making money or how you can like do that yet. We're not there. So like just generally, what is something that you most love to do? And so you want to get specific, right? Like what is it that you love to do? So maybe let's say you love playing in your community soccer club, right? So like do you love to play? Like maybe you love to play, but like what really is the thing that draws you in? Like what is it really like that you're going for, right? So are you going because you love creating new relationships and meeting new people? Or is it more of like a feeling of pride or athleticism that you are moving your body regularly? Like what is it specifically that draws you to that activity? And then so you want to dive deeper, right? And ask, what work do you do that doesn't feel like work, right? So, like, what is something in your current job that you love to do? Or if you don't love your job or any part of your job right now, what's some kind of work that you've done previously that you really enjoy doing? So, like, I'll give you an example. So for me, I it seems so stupid, right? But, like, I love creating forms and spreadsheets, so weird. I could really, like, sit there and, like, be creating that all day and totally forget that, like, "Oh, maybe I should go eat lunch or something," Like, I totally space out, right? And that's the point. You wanna space out. So what could you do all day long and completely lose awareness of time, right? What is that thing? And that's really going to give you insight on what you really enjoy to doing, and then what you can work on in your zone of genius, right? So then you want to so to gain more insight on that, you want to dig into what your unique ability is, right? So what is an activity with regards to work that when you perform it, you are just at your absolute best, right? So do you thrive on like running meetings? Are you just like a networking machine and you know everyone? Or are you like a superb researcher and you love like digging up all the facts? What is something that you just it it's you're so good at it, right, in your job, and it's you get into it, right? So when there is enjoyment in the work that you do and you have more success in that area, that's that's where the flow is, right? So it's enjoyment, but it's also you're there's success. Maybe not all the time, but more often than not, you're having some level of success with it. And this is like you this kind of makes it enjoyable. And so that's where the flow is. And so you want to identify that area for yourself and ask what exactly, like what's the exact thing that you're doing in that activity, and then what specifically about that task do you love doing? So so you want to like not necessarily it's this is basically this question is going to expand the zone of genius more like from like one scenario. So you're taking this thing that you love and you're expanding it, okay, out into like this broader scope that you could potentially apply in other areas. So like so going back to my example, right? Like I love spreadsheets. So specifically, what am I doing? What's the exact thing that I'm doing? Okay, so I'm arranging elements of information and design into an easily understandable and organized format. Okay, so that's specifically what I'm doing. And then what I love about it is the organization of it, right? I love like putting things into like just visually pleasing um ways, like boxes per se, and just that, but also being helpful with it, right? And so it's kind for me, it's like writing off. It's like you write a list and you like check the things off. It's like it's just so satisfying, right? So that's where the exact thing that I'm doing and then what I specifically love about it, right? So when I'm in my zone of genius, what am I doing? I'm combining artistic creation with organization. Okay. So do you see how I could potentially apply that to different areas? Some artistic creation with organization. I could do like data collection. I could freaking do home organization, right? Like, do you see how like broad that makes it? Like where do I want to put that box? Okay. And so the key here though is once you're finding your unique ability, and then you're utilizing it within the field of work that interests or excites you, right? So so for me, digging through somebody's crap to get it organized and put in this nice pretty picture, like, no, thank you. I'm good. Like I don't want to dig through your stuff, right? But like creating a worksheet and helping my audience live the life of their dreams. Well, that sounds like something I would like to do, like creating a little worksheet to help you figure your life out better. Yes, there we go. That sounds interesting, right? So you want to be realistic in the sense like we're ever changing, we're evolving, like things we grow, we move, we're fluid. We're not just stagnant people that are always the same all the time, right? There's growth happening. Um and so that like potentially that it's going to become something deeper later, but this is your starting point, right? So your purpose is it's just it's not just one thing that you know and start like working on. It's this collection of steps that you take, right? So I was listening to this sermon the other day. And if you want the link to it, just let me know and I'll send that to you. But it was really good. And the pastor was basically explaining the gifts of Jesus. And he was saying that when you're called to something is different is different than when you are sent. It's two different times. So like if you think Jesus was called to save us before he was even born, like it was his calling. He we knew that he was called to do this. However, he wasn't sent until he was like 30. right? He he didn't become live into his purpose until he was 30. So there's this period of growing that has to happen, right? This period of learning where we're just like, what is going on? Um, and so that's different for everybody. That's why when you're trying to figure out your purpose, it's so difficult, right? Like there really is no holy right answer. It comes down to something that you'll discern, like you'll know you're living in your purpose when you're living in your purpose. But until then it feels like you're just like, what the hell am I doing? I don't know, right? Like I feel like it's a process. But so since you can't necessarily know your purpose until you're living your purpose, there's one thing that we can do, right? And so that one thing that we can do is to work in the direction of our passion, utilizing our unique ability, right? So you know what you're passionate about, and now you know what your unique ability is. And how can you work those together to create something and build that, right? So I love what Tony Robbins says. He always says that your only true purpose is in life is to grow and to serve. So and that's it. You're growing and you're serving. And so when you are working to serve others and you're growing yourself in the process, that's when you'll truly see that you are living with purpose. So I hope that was helpful. It was a lot. So if you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. I love this stuff. It's just so interesting to me. So if you want to chat or you have questions or anything, just let me know. I'd love to talk about it. Um, but I do want to know what your unique ability is. So, as you've worked through this and you have determined what is your unique ability, what makes you, where are you in flow? I want to know. Put that in the comments. I hope you will. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. And until next time, live stronger for longer with purpose and passion. Bye, guys.